Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So today's video is going to be a episode on the potential the Winter Storm Taylor. I made a video on it a couple days ago and I got quite a bit of views, around 3,500, and remember how I said that I would monitor the videos and see how well they did in terms of the view counts, because when your channel gets demonetized, sometimes your the way YouTube suggests the videos and how they recommend it, it doesn't get out to as many people. Well, the videos is just fine. It was perfect. It was just fine. So I'm thrilled that at least my views aren't going down, because I don't do this really for the money. It's a nice addition to, I'm doing these videos and I get something out of it, but I'm completely fine doing these videos because I actually enjoy making them. Unlike many people that do YouTube, they get, sick, they need to take breaks from it. I don't want to take a break. I miss doing these videos. So it's just a nice addition being monetized, but it's completely fine with me if I don't for 30 days. I mean, that's not too bad. It may actually take a little bit more than that, but whatever. Life is life. We got to get through it together. If you'd like to, though, maybe if you'd like to support my channel with your own money, you could do that by becoming a Patreon. If you want to, because now I don't have any income. If you want to do that, you can do that using Patreon. That is completely optional. I don't really need the money desperately. I was planning to save up for a couple of things to improve this channel. So if you want to help me improve this channel, you can do so by becoming a Patreon. There's a link in the description box below. You can become $2, $5, $10, $25, and you'll get on my Patreon. Completely optional, just a little thing. In terms of the concert a couple days ago, on Friday, actually yesterday, it went very well. We did actually Gloria from Vivaldi, a very 12 movement piece. It was very nicely done, and it was very nice. Went very well. So thank you for all the good luck wishes. So in terms of the weather, we are looking at quite a array of different things going on. So we have these big storms coming in from the southwest. Oh yeah, and these storms, I still don't have a drawing tool. It's not that I've been really looking for them. I haven't. I just really haven't had the time. Today, my goal is to get that done. Because I like drawing on these maps. So I'll try doing it with this thing. Just showing you, demonstrating these storms. If you go back a couple of hours, it would be up here. That came from California, went through California and Northern California actually, and then dropped down through here, and now it's around the front range of the Rockies, somewhere in that area, maybe a little bit further out already than it's showing here, and it's gonna eject something out like this, and it's almost gonna go into the north. It's gonna almost go from south to north, and as it does so, it brings in quite a bit of warm air. Hopefully, sometimes this gets stuck. It brings in quite a bit of warm air, and you can see that is marked by, first, the 540 line is down here, and it's more of a northwest flow into the United States. But this storm is very powerful and kind of absolutely pushes that 540 line. You can notice it's up here, way up to the north, and look at that. It's right up here in Wisconsin, and anywhere here it's above freezing, so a lot of rain, potentially severe weather heading towards Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana. Definitely the potential for some severe weather on the northern side, where the cold air isn't necessarily too affected by this pushing, because most of the cold air is getting pushed out into a direction like this. It's the lowest going right here, and anywhere in this area this probably will be above freezing, but here it's the cold air. It's cold enough, and the low position is in a perfect position where it's going to remain all snow, and the Minnesota probably is going to see the most snow out of this. South Dakota as well, especially eastern South Dakota. Western South Dakota will still see quite a bit of snow, though. It just seems like the bullseye of the storm in terms of snow will be central Minnesota and southern Minnesota, and into eastern South Dakota. So this passes through. We get quite a bit of rain in these areas. You can see Illinois, Indiana, Indianapolis, Chicago, Peoria, Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, Kansas City. What else? Wichita, Kansas, getting maybe not. You could see maybe not too much rain out of this because the rain only starts forming after it passes already through Wichita. So Wichita may get out of this basically with not a lot of precip. Topeka, Kansas, more precip out of this for you. And then in the Northeast, mainly rain, snow transitioning into rain for many if you're cold enough to see snow in the first place. So after that, we cool down. We see the 540 line return back into central Illinois, northern Missouri. So all these locations would be below freezing. And let's go to 2 meter, let's show you the total snowfall, total positive snow depth change. You can see that GFS is not putting out a lot at all. It's actually fairly conservative with these amounts, and I'm not too sure about that. The National Weather Service has a fairly broad area of snow from 8 to 12 inches, and I would agree with that. I think 8 to 12 inches is fairly common and will be fairly common with this storm. This storm will be very powerful, and wherever the snow does fall, it will fall fairly heavily. It won't be a long-term event, not necessarily long-lived. It will just be average, not record-breaking short, not record-breaking long, just a average storm, but with heavy snowfall amounts. That's why some of these amounts will be fairly high. So let's go to a total snowfall, maybe assuming 10-to-1 ratio. I think it shows up a little bit more. Yeah, it shows a little bit more. 9, 8, 7, 6, 10 inches. All of those amounts will be widespread and common through Minnesota. Again, look at this. Minnesota seems to be getting the bullseye of this. Otherwise, South Dakota, especially eastern South Dakota, the most snow. North Dakota, southeastern North Dakota should see more. Western Wisconsin, maybe northern Iowa, the far portions of northern Iowa. Though I'm not sure if I'm buying that too much. The models sometimes do include the sleet, which could mess the snowfall, could fluctuate the snowfall totals. Then we go to the Northeast. You can see maybe a quick shot of snow before it all transitions to rain. So most of that should melt or turn into a slush and potentially freeze over, which could be dangerous because after the storm, cold air will be coming through. Let's go back to precipitation and moisture and let's go back to MSLP and precip, and let's check out the NAM model, and let's see what the other models are showing, because I only showed you the GFS model, which is only one of the bunch of models which we look at here. And we are looking right now at current time when I'm recording this video, and we see this little wave of snow here, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, producing a little bit. There's a winter weather advisory issued for those areas, maybe 1 to 2 inches. Should quickly though melt as this big storm comes up and brings a massive warm up. So notice how this snow breaks out into South Dakota, North Dakota, and then we see this rather heavy band of rain produce obviously heavy rain, but I meant to say eject out from around the central Kansas area, forming around that area. So anything west of central Kansas, most likely not getting a lot of precip from this. If we look at this, yeah, not a lot of precip at all. Though you could see Illinois, Indiana seeing quite a bit of snow, and then with that line right there, the NAM isn't good at showing severe weather, but potentially a severe weather with this. We definitely could be looking at that. And this snow right here, yeah, that's most likely not going to happen. This is most likely going to be all rain, I would say, up to the La Crosse, northeastern Iowa, and northwestern Wisconsin should be all snow. But here, southern Wisconsin, mainly all rain, maybe a little bit of ice at the beginning. The NAM has a cold bias, which means it usually shows colder temperatures than it actually, than they're actually going to end up being. And we could see that it does push into the northeast, maybe initially, again, a little bit of snow and then transitioning over into rain. This pushes through, and we could start seeing another system into next week, forming and organizing into a fairly hefty system as well. Very similar repeat, just a little bit with more warmer air into the country. Let's see what the NAM model says in terms of total snowfall. And I'm using 10-to-1 right now because that seems to be more accurate than the total positive snow depth change on the models. A little bit too high snowfall totals in the Northeast, in my opinion. I don't think there will be over 6 inches in the Northeast that widespread as the NAM is showing. I think 6 inches will occur here and there, but it's not going to be as widespread as the NAM is showing. And then over a foot of snow, the NAM is showing in some locations, which I think is a possibility, except I would say that this is a little bit too far to the north. I would lower these snowfall totals right here, and this is too far to the south, the snow in general. Like, I just don't see the snow happening in central Iowa and northern Illinois. There just basically won't be even a couple of snowflakes. It will be mainly all rain. So mainly Minnesota, South Dakota, especially eastern, southwestern North Dakota, southeastern North Dakota, sorry, and western Wisconsin, the main contenders for the heaviest snow. Let's quickly go to the HER model. It's a very high resolution model. You can see this, it goes out to 34 hours. So this basically encompasses the whole storm, showing decent amounts. And notice how the HER model is not showing nothing for Illinois or north or even northern Iowa, maybe far northern Iowa. And I think this is the most accurate representation of what's going to happen. I highly doubt there's going to be any accumulation in Illinois, southern Wisconsin, Illinois, not Illinois, Illinois, sorry. I got that mixed up. Southern Wisconsin, not looking likely at all to see much snow. Though, again, Minnesota and eastern South Dakota seeing some hefty amounts, over a foot of snow in some areas, definitely a possibility. Let's go to the precip snowfall. And I want to go to radar, rain, and frozen and time this out for you based on the HER model. And notice how in that 34 frame, the snow was still not all said and done. So there could have been a couple more inches to that final total snowfall map. So again, very similar to what the other models are showing, coming out from the southwest. This is taking a little bit longer. The spinning wheel of tropical tidbits doom. That's what I call it. And again, notice how Kansas doesn't seem to get a lot of snow from, a lot of rain from this. Mainly starts developing after it passes through Kansas and it gets into Illinois, Iowa, Missouri. Quite a bit of rain though coming into these areas. And notice how these squall lines set up, potentially these damaging wind events potentially set up. We could be seeing severe weather. I think there's torcons, which is what the Weather Channel gives of a probability of a tornado based on a 1 to 10 index. Obviously 10 being a 100% chance, 1 being a 10% chance. Some locations are. Some locations are expected to have 40% or even 50% chance of seeing a tornado, which is fairly significant. And yeah, so this passes through, and notice how if we go back to precip and total snowfall, it's still not all said and done for these areas. So maybe 14 inches localized is definitely a possibility. Let's go to just show you the total accumulated precip in terms of rain amounts. Heaviest amounts will obviously be in the thunderstorms where the localized events occur, but overall, fairly widespread event, not you know, quickly moving. Shouldn't be too big of a problem with flooding unless the ground is extremely frozen in some areas where it's gonna rain, which doesn't, there's not a lot of overlap in the areas that it's a lot of frozen ground and heavy precip of rain. Usually here in the south you can see these heavier amounts. Here the ground is not frozen really at all, and there's going to be heavier rain, so the ground can soak in more. Probably the biggest issue is going to be here in Iowa and Illinois, where the ground is frozen, pretty rock solid, and some heavy rain could fall, which could end up to some flooding. Otherwise though, that's basically it. This is the last video I will be doing about this storm. Thank you guys so much for watching. Consider becoming a subscriber, consider liking the video, and I will catch you all guys in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. See ya. Bye.